Welcome everyone. Hope everyone is okay. So today I am joined by Sarah, who is one of my clients, and she is also my accountability coach in my group coaching program. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you very much for jumping on.
Yeah.
So people might know you, they might not know you. So give us a bit of a brief introduction of who you are, who you live with, what you do, just a bit of a background.
I'm Sarah. I'm married. I live with 3 children and I also have 2 stepchildren. So my life is pretty busy. I work part-time at my local college. I'm a specialist student support worker. So I work with individuals with a variety of special needs. So with work and home, I'm pretty much non-stop most of the time.
And dogs.
Yes, yeah. I have my older dog who's 7, and then I just thought because life was getting easier, I would throw a puppy into the mix. So
Yeah, why not? Doesn't sound chaotic at all.
No, not at all. I'm having to set my alarm twice in the night to get up just to let her out so that I don't wake up to mess in the morning.
Well, there's one good of preventing it anyway.
Mm.
So me and Sarah have been working together for about 11 months now, which was when I was writing it down before. I was like, that is crazy. The time has absolutely flown. So where were you before meeting me, talking to me? Like, obviously you've got a hectic, busy life anyway, but health and fitness wise, where was you kind of at?
I was really struggling. I was overweight. I was uncomfortable. I was trying to diet, but not really realizing that I wasn't doing the right things. So although I'd have days when I felt like I was eating quite healthily, on other days I just wasn't, or I wasn't aware of the calories actually in the foods I was eating when I thought that they were healthy. I had tried Slimming World a few years ago, which the plan worked okay at the time, but there was a lot of restrictions, which then caused me problems afterwards, and I couldn't maintain afterwards because I hadn't learned the background of why I was able to lose that weight. And then obviously you don't know then how to keep it off because you don't know how it's gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just in a really stuck kind of position. I was trying things that I'd read online, but without the actual proper knowledge and understanding, just nothing was working. And then also with my polycystic ovaries, that made me feel really unwell a lot of the time, which didn't help at all.
No, and like as a female anyway, you know, we've got to go through a monthly cycle which kind of wipes us out and, you know, knocks us off track a little bit somewhat. Like even me myself, you know, it'll knock me off once a month and then I have to go, oh, hang on a minute, right, okay, it's just this time of the month, let's carry on going. And just a normal cycle is hard enough as it is, you know, without obviously throwing polycystic ovaries into the mix where, you know, your cycles are regular. There's different like symptoms that kind of come with it as well, which makes it even tougher. And like you say, you know, you didn't really have the answers to the weight loss, so you didn't know which kind of way you were going. And then obviously we spoke, I think it was on Facebook. So what kind of hesitations did you have? Kind of obviously when you knew I was a coach, you know, obviously offering to help you. What were your first kind of initial thoughts? Had you done any coaching previously?
No, I hadn't done any like one-to-one coaching or online coaching, nothing like that before. I wasn't really hesitant. Once I joined your page and got to know about you a bit, I felt quite comfortable and confident. And obviously joined the project you and gave it a go, and it taught me so much, and I did manage to lose weight in that time.
Yeah, you absolutely smashed it in that first one in January. Like it was absolutely incredible. And did that then kind of change your thought process about diets and whether they would work or not?
It did, because you can just fit it into your lifestyle. Because even though I'm busy, it's all the planning and the prepping, which doesn't even take that long now at all, but it saves so much time in the long run and obviously helps me to be more consistent. And I think consistency was something I was really missing before, and also having the plans in place.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people hear the word like meal prep or prepping food and like, oh my God, it must be take you hours, it must be absolutely crazy, but in actual fact it saves you time in the long run, and it takes that thinking out of what you're going to have, because when you rushed, obviously you've got a very busy lifestyle, you know, people kind of fall down when they grab and go stuff, whereas if you've decided what your menu is, like you sent me a picture a while ago, you've got like 4 weeks, like, so you've got like a weekly rotation, because obviously, you know, you don't live on your own, you've got other people to consider, and you need to make sure that they're happy with the food choices as well. So how's that going, obviously fitting family life into meal prepping?
And really well. A lot of the time we all have the same now. Sometimes the children will have something different because I quite like spicy foods. But I just, because I've got the menu up on the board on my fridge, the kids, they just come in, have a look, and they just go away and they're happy with whatever's on there. Whereas when I hadn't got that plan and I was coming in to cook, and they'd come down, well, what's for dinner? And I'm mooching through. One would be like, oh, well, I don't want that. And another one would be, well, I don't want that. Well, I don't want that with that. Whereas with it all just written out, they all just come along, have a look, and they know that that's what it is.
Yeah, do you know what? That's really good as well, like getting the family involved in what you're doing, because a lot of clients that I have like got either unsupportive partners or kids, like, you know, like you say, they don't want to eat the same, and that's where the struggle comes. But you've kind of overcome that by going, right guys, here's a menu, this is what we're having, so they kind of know, and they're not like shocked with it and going, oh, I didn't know we were having that, I don't want that today. Your partner and your kids can kind of look ahead of time and go, oh, tomorrow we're having pasta bolognese, you know, and then that sinks in the head of that what they're having, and then when it's prepared for them, there's no question, because he kind of knew. So yeah, I bet that massively helps for sure.
Yeah, it's so much less stressful.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you can minimize any stress, it helps.
Yeah. And that's it. And I think it's a big part of getting everyone that you live with on board. And one of the questions I now ask in the consultation form is, who do you live with? Because I think, you know, that makes a big difference to not necessarily your success, but, you know, getting everyone in the family or in the household kind of on board to your way of doing things. Because if you're constantly every single day fighting of what food you're having in the evening, and with your partner that they don't want what you're having, and you're having to cook 6 different meals, that becomes very stressful. And then very easily you can kind of just fall off track and go, oh, this is too hard work, it's too much. So obviously you've had some amazing results since January, so just talk us through your journey over the last 10-11 months.
Well, I've lost, I can't remember how many months it took. It was from January to, it was about May, wasn't it?
May,
that I shifted 2 stone, which I was really happy with. And then obviously I had my surgery in May. So that kind of put a bit of a hold on things as far as weight loss, but I still feel like I've continued my journey. So I went on to maintenance to keep my strength up. And then after that, I've just been building myself back up slowly, but I still stuck with healthy eating, because obviously it helps your body. And then trying to build my exercise back up slowly. And I feel now that I'm at a point to just keep moving forward. And I'm hoping by next January, I'll be back to the point I was at back in May, to then plod along and get the rest hopefully shifted.
And I think some people are quite short-sighted with their fitness journey. Like, we're talking now like 11 months, and obviously a lot's gone on. And with polycystic ovaries, it can lower your metabolism by up to 40%. And there's no way of knowing that. Like, on average, they say between 15 and 40. Some people it could affect them, others not. And if you're struggling to lose weight, then potentially, you know, you could be on the 40%. So to say that, you know, you lost 2 stone in like 4 or 5 months, you know, is absolutely amazing when you've got those things and those factors. You've got a family, you've got kids, you know, that's a lot going on. And I think sometimes people like to see fast weight loss, but really in that time you lost the weight. And then obviously recently, you know, you've kind of maintained that, going through an operation as well, you know, coming out the other side a lot stronger. And I love the fact that, you know, you're saying like you've worked on healthy eating habits and, you know, getting your protein in and building your strength back up, and you're okay at maintenance. And, you know, yes, it's frustrating when you're kind of halfway through a weight loss journey and you know, something happens and then you're having to kind of maintain your weight and you're not seeing those results. But then it's about them looking at those different little wins of, like you say, you know, increasing your steps over time and pushing yourself that little bit more forward. And there's always, I mean, people probably don't like to think that they're getting educated on a weight loss journey, but you are, because at the end of the journey, you want to know how to do maintenance. You've just learned that.
Yeah.
So how has it been like mentally kind of maintaining your weight, like, and, you know, dealing with a different situation where it's not like, oh, I'm focused on weight loss, you now kind of focus on the healthy aspect of it and the food and the nutrition and, you know, just maintaining your weight. How's that kind of been mentally for you?
Quite good really, because I'm glad obviously that I haven't put any massively on, because obviously with having like not moving as much, especially in the earlier days, you know, that could have happened, although I would have dealt with it if it had of. I've been quite all right, just on the level. I feel so much better in myself, and I like to go on how I'm feeling rather than what the scale's necessarily saying, because I have had a couple of non-scale wins in that time. Like my engagement ring fits again, which it hadn't for about 4 years, something like that.
Which is a massive win in itself.
Yeah, because I've hated not wearing it, whereas I can now. So yeah, now I'm just plodding along with the journey, and I'm not on a time scale to get to exactly where I want to be, but because of what I've already done and how far I've already come, I feel I'm a lot healthier. I feel a lot weller in myself.
Yeah, and obviously going through an operation as well, you know, sometimes people go, oh, I'll wait till that's done, or I'll wait to a certain time. And sometimes it's like, you've just got to start now and get yourself in a healthier position. So do you feel obviously losing that 2 stone, learning everything about nutrition and training in that first 5 months helped you kind of transition through the operation, obviously get out the other side?
Yeah, massively, absolutely massively. With obviously the health risks of the operation if you are overweight, which I was, and then obviously recovery and being able to move around, obviously with a big horizontal cut on your tummy, it's difficult with movement and stuff, but with not having as much weight to carry around with me, I found my recovery went really well.
Yeah, you've absolutely smashed it. And like you say, you know, not putting a timeline on it massively helps, especially obviously in your situation. And it's just taking it step by step and, you know, going from the scale kind of victories before the operation, and then now kind of looking at the non-scale stuff, like you say, you know, you're getting fitter, you're getting stronger, you're moving a bit more, you know, you're feeling good in yourself. I mean, if I could sell that in a bottle, you know, feeling good in yourself, everyone would want that. You know, rather than necessarily a scale weight. And, you know, it's massively beneficial for people to look at other things other than scale weight as well, because I think as females, we can be so fixed on that scale number and it moving, and we just got to accept that sometimes there's parts in our life where maintenance is the goal, you know, like you, and because you're having to take your calories lower than a normal person just to do maintenance, even that's tough just to do maintenance, you know, because obviously your calories are lower, you've not got the movement, so you can't kind of go, oh, well, I'm going to get 10,000 steps in today. You know, if you're only getting 1,000 steps in, there's no calorie burn there, you know, so then that makes it even harder, which is why I know when you get to the point where you want to do maintenance, because you'll have those steps there, you'll have your workouts in there, you just hopefully are going to find it a bit of a breeze because you've already managed to do it. And that's, like you say, what a lot of people struggle with. They go to Weight Watchers or Slimming World or do some kind of keto diet plan or whatever, and then they don't know how to maintain it afterwards because they're just used to what they're eating. They see the Weight Watchers Slimming World as a diet, and then when they finish, they go back to what they were having before.
Because I do feel like this has just been a bit of a change, just like a lifestyle change. I've just adapted certain things. I've just adapted my routine to move more, adapted my food for it to be slightly lower calories. I don't feel like I've had to make any like major changes.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's what my coaching is all about. It's about small little things over time that are not really noticeable, but then when you look back a year, you go, oh, I wasn't doing that a year ago. And it's not like crazy things, because you just won't stick to it. And why people don't stick to crazy fad diets, because they're not sustainable. And the whole point of the way that I coach is that, you know, we do all these tiny little changes over time, and you make these swaps with different foods and different ways of working. Like you've got your meal plan for that, you know, for the kids and stuff. And you can do that forever, you know, because then that just helps everyone. And like you say, takes that stress away, you know, and it's not something that's complicated. It's just easy to do. And that is what helps maintain your results, you know, obviously long term. So as we've gone through, obviously, like you said, you know, you did other diets and stuff beforehand. Is there anything that's kind of like been a light bulb moment, like a breakthrough, or something that I've taught you that, you know, you wasn't aware of? Or, you know, is there anything that kind
protein?
Protein.
Absolutely, protein, the importance of protein. It is my whole life now. I have to make sure that I've had enough. Because I can't have caffeine, can I? I'm caffeine free. I find that gives me the boost I need to make me feel more awake and more alert and things. And also, I suffer with my head, with headaches and migraines, but I don't want to say anything and touch wood. But since January was my last migraine. I haven't had one since I've been on your program. Which
I mean, that in itself is
protein.
Absolutely amazing. And like I say, that's again another non-scale victory. And you know, it's not maybe something you'd put on paper, because you'd forget that, like, you used to kind of suffer with those. But yeah, I mean, any of my clients will say all I go on is about protein all the time, but it is so important, and I just don't feel that people talk about it enough. And one client last week was like, is it just because, you know, you're not going to be satiated if you don't eat enough protein? I was like, no, it is not. There's like millions of different reasons. And it is just so important. And like you're saying, it's just knowing that knowledge. And once you've got that knowledge, you've got it for life now. So you're then going to instill that into your kids, into everyone that you come into contact with, of like, you're not getting enough protein in that meal.
Are you eating protein? Are you getting enough? Like all the time.
And that's it. It's just those small little bits of information that you weren't aware of before that now like massively changed your life, which is absolutely amazing. So last question. If anyone was kind of where you were, Slimming World, kind of a bit unsure and was really kind of on the fence about coaching or about joining one of my programs, whether it's group or one-to-one, what kind of advice would you have, or what words of wisdom as a client would you kind of say to them?
To just give it a go and go for it, because at the end of the day, you're not going to lose anything at all from having a go and seeing how it works. Yeah, exactly. And I'm always open and transparent with everyone with what I do, and obviously my coaching, you know, there's no secrets here. It's all about nice. That's what I love. There is no secrets. You get taught everything you need to know. So even if somebody decides it's not quite for them, or it's not working for them, or whatever, they'll still gain so much from it. I don't think there is a negative point to it at all.
No, and I kind of am all about education with clients. Even anyone I meet in the street or whatever, if someone asks me a question, I'm educating them as well. So it is just about learning more. And once you learn everything that you need to know, I can go, right, okay, see you later, you know, because that is it, you know, it's just a learning process. And some people are a bit like, don't want to learn, don't want to educate myself, but at the end of the day, it's about you and your body and how you operate and how you need to live, how you need to kind of have your lifestyle. You know, there's no restrictions. You know, we all eat like chocolate, cake and biscuits here, especially me. You know, so it's just about working those in and factoring those in so you can still kind of enjoy your life and still kind of get those results as well, which is amazing. So yeah, any final comments from you?
I don't think there is.
No. Well, that was great. Thanks so much, Sarah, for jumping on. If anyone's got any questions, just drop them below. Thank you very much.